And to me, it's nauseating. It's absolutely nauseating because
multiple mental health clinicians said that Derek had limited intellectual ability and was not capable of consenting.
Congratulations. Boom. Right? Change soccer in America forever.
Hella bugs out here. Yeah, bro, I keep caressing my leg, boy. Trying to get freaky out here.
Your step siblings and also husband and wife.
I can't do any of that stuff.
That's right. Yeah, in fact, soccer can crawl up my asshole and die for all I care.
And that's what the kids do, but I'm a little older. I like that shirt tucked in.
Who the hell told you that would not be seen on television?
Anal sex is the process of inserting a penis into the anus of another partner.
Alrighty, welcome to Straight Right Card. We are kicking it off today. Yeah. We'll get to the Poach thing and the mainstream media just, for whatever reason, just getting it off. They just don't seem to have any clear pathway to determine. I have my own theory on that we'll discuss.
Yeah, we'll discuss it.
Reina's little left testicle pull. We'll get to that too. Whether he is injury prone, as some have already stated. I guess we'll get to that as well, or unless Brett wants to get to it earlier. I do have to say
it goes right in with the geo topic. We'll just throw it in there.
Okay. Happy to say that Dom and I have made peace. I know a lot of people don't like the Dom because he can come after you, but we made peace and it's all good now, and that's fine. Because
that's why I found it entertaining.
Yeah, no, it was fun arguing with him for a while, but after a while, it's just like, yeah, whatever, Yes, by the way, this is a 25-year-old Bayern T-shirt my grandfather bought me. Probably older.
Shirt older than some of our listeners right now.
I mean, the neck is ragged. There's a few holes in it, but I kept it because it reminds me of my grandfather, who was a big Bayern Munich fan. And so he used to buy me stuff back in the day when he'd come and visit the United States from Germany. Also, we got the big USA-Canada game coming up at 4 p.m. on Saturday. So we'll try to put together a starting 11 now that Reina's pulled his left testicle. And there are lots of guys out for that particular series. We have a dumbass of the week coming up. We haven't had one of those for a while. I do have to say in that introduction, with was Tim Weah, he's like hella bugs out here. They're caressing my legs.
Caressing my legs. Yeah.
I don't think I would say caressing. They're penetrating your legs with their anyhow.
Well, they might not be mosquitoes. Maybe they're just flies or gnats.
They could be gnats. I mean, gnats were really big. They were really bad. When I was in West Point, we'd play up in Stony Lonesome on these fields. I mean, it must be near a swamp somewhere, but there were just gnats. I mean, it was like a flock. I don't know what you call
a flock of gnats.
A billion gnats.
Well, they've got to start. It's got to start with the same letter as a gnat, so it's got to be like a gang of gnats.
A gang of gnats, but I'd say this is more like a corps of gnats.
It's got to be like a swarm, right?
Or an army of gnats. I mean, it was just annoying. They're in your ears. They're up your nose. They're trying to figure out how to get in your freaking crotch. They're disgusting little creatures.
That's dual gnat panic.
Yes, there we go. That's a good one. Also,
Alex says swarm usually.
Swarm. There's a good one. It's a swarm of gnats.
It's a gnat attack. Gnat attack.
A gnat attack. Also, that guy who says crawl up my asshole and die. That's the one thing. I don't want anything to crawl up my asshole and die. I'm pretty much against that. Don't like that idea. Also playing the Creek Spiel with the kids on Tuesday now. My younger son got a raise and a new job at his work, and so he has time free now. So he's going to join Chris and I on Tuesdays, and we're going to do, what was the game? We're going to Dark Tide, and then we're also going to do Creek Spiel, which is just like the original wargaming the Germans made up. The Prussians made up specifically many years ago.
How to penetrate your neighboring countries.
No.
Take them over, right?
It's really how to win a battle.
Yeah.
So it's not that gross. It just means, warplay.
It's Krieg.
Krieg, war,
Yeah.
Spiel, play, yeah. And it's almost like if you have, for the nerds out there, if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, there's competing people on either side, and then there's an umpire who kind of lets you know what's going on. You make the moves, the umpire tells you what happened, right? Based on history. In this case, Dungeons and Dragons is not really historical, so can't really bring that into the game. So that's the turd. The turd in the background says, "Welcome back to the straight red card. Where is Poch?" I have an answer. Greg has him in a well in his basement. Greg has been trying to get Poch to put the lotion back in the basket. Yeah, I bet. Also, I do have.
I don't want the hose again, man.
Don't want the hose, baby. I am once again drinking the sixth glass by it's a quadruple Belgian beer made by Boulevard right here in USA of America. If you love good beer and you like beers to be around 10% alcohol, then go for this.
Well, as we found out last show, Boulevard is what, Pennsylvania?
No, that was the other one. That's the different.
Oh, it was Victory. That's Victory.
Yeah, Victory. This is. God, my eyes are so broken. Honestly, Brett. Kansas City, Missouri. Missouri. Very capably well done quad by an American company, high alcohol, and comparing it price wise to, I think I did Golden Monkey. That's what Victory was last time, Brett. Golden Monkey. This is called the sixth glass, and you wouldn't want to have 6 of these because it would fuck you up.
I would think so. With 10%, that's a hefty brew.
I think so, and I don't think it's quite 10. Oh, my bad. It's 10.2.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta watch out.
Yeah, it'll F you up.
Watch it.
Definitely don't have a couple of these and drive. I think that'll barely put you over the point of weight level. So,
I think that'll put you over it. Yeah.
Yeah. Turn the background says, in case you were wondering, Miazga kicked Precious, Greg's little dog.
There we go. We got validation right there. Thank you, Turd.
All right. Well, I didn't know that.
It happened. No longer just a rumor.
It's good to have confirmation on occasionally. I do think that the whole Dom and I make it, because I had a lot of people PMing me along the way going, Dom's talking shit about you here, and then he's talking shit about you here. And then Dom and I had it out. And then we kind of talked about it. And then, I was like, well, it's too bad we can't be friends. Because I don't disagree with everything he said. And he's like, well, why don't we just be friends then? I'm like, okay. And then he friended me and I friended him back. Boom, done. All right. Jeff Carey, $4.99. Do you guys, wonder what Jeff's voice sounds like. Anyhow, I don't want to offend him. Do you guys shave your private parts? Tack can't stand it when you don't shave down there. No, I don't really bother to shave down there. Might trim it up.
If you're going to shave down there, you got to keep it going because otherwise you get the stubble. And I feel like that's got to be even worse.
Oh, it's irritating. Yeah. No, I don't. I've never just trimmed. That's all. Never shaved. I think that's a bad idea, Jeff. All kinds of rashes and whatever, right?
Yeah. Derek likes to do decorative. He etches in his favorite soccer team logo.
I make a little mustache with the twirlies on the end down there.
Oddly enough, that kind of takes us into our sponsor of the show.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You sent it. I mean, you didn't go into it, so I'm like, maybe this wasn't supposed to be a sponsor, but you know what? This kind of goes nicely with this. So.
We totally sold out for this one. Let's be honest, because this is not a good idea, and thus we're going to lose them next time. Perform better from the gym to the bedroom. Feel this unique combination of PDE5 inhibitors improve blood flow for up to 24 hours. Prescription products require an online consultation with the doctor. Results may vary. What are they claiming will happen? Well, if we scroll down to the picture. Yeah. So,
I don't want to take this, Derek. Sorry.
I don't either.
I hope they paid us well for this one.
I don't need 6 testicles.
I don't need a spiky cock.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a bad commercial. There should only be 2 balls, and they shouldn't be so small. It makes it look like it shrinks your testicles.
Or maybe it could be an optical illusion that the big cactus could just be big.
It could be, but if you put it in perspective, and we're calling that like an 8-inch, 10-inch penis, those balls are quite small. They're quite small. That's all I'm saying. Those are very small. So these guys are probably not going to have us back as a sponsor.
It's a cactus.
It's a cactus. That's a good one, Broken Furnace. Yeah, and then what does it say above that? So,
what's that?
Blood flow protocol helps you last longer, go again sooner, and leaves your partner more satisfied. I think at my age and even Brett's age, once is good enough a night.
Like, I think if go again sooner, she's not going to want to get anywhere near. You're still going the first time. It's like, guys, what am I supposed to do with this?
And if it helps you last longer, and the first time was like 2 hours, Jesus Christ, what are you going to do the next day if it's another 2 hours? I'm not like 20 anymore. I could do that when I was in my 20s, early 30s.
Welcome back, Jose. Anthony goes, stepsister approved.
Mm-hmm. So give it a try if you want to. I've never personally used it, but I hear it's a real prickly thing. And in the prick area. All right, Jose Reyes for $5. Still waiting on Poach. I get Chelsea is being difficult, but come on now, figure it out. Cheers, boys. Yeah, we're going to give you our theory about that. It's an educated guess. I mean, it's just based on some rumblings, but it's not out of left field, and I don't know if I believe it, but we will tell you what we think is going to happen, or what I certainly think is going to happen, based on the marketing proclivities of U.S. soccer and what they're going to do with this. Fumar, one of our favorites, says, yeah, I'm hearing Saturday at the game. You probably started hearing that because of what I put out, would be my guess. Because nobody was saying it until I was saying it. But if you're hearing that too, then that's just locks up with what I'm saying, which is good, Fumar. That means we've got conjoining, what do you call it? I don't know, guesses, educated guesses, right? Based on whatever. Right now we're at 169. Damn it. Sorry, 175.
Just over.
So 169. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandmother. Glad to have all of you here this early, only 13 minutes in. It's a good it's a good buildup, I would call it. Kind of like a good erection, right?
Mm-hmm.
A good building erection to the show.
You took Maximus, apparently, right?
A sports arousal, sort of, right, Brett? All right.
Maximus.
BMR 209, way to take all the credit there. Hey, man, I'm putting it out there, man. Nobody else was saying. I saw it on X. That's all I'm saying. And, there were 1,000 people that saw it. Usually, my other posts were getting like 50,000. That one got diddly twinks compared to the one I put out about the Japanese player.
Kind of surprised by that, yeah.
Yeah, I know. The other ones were doing really well. I don't care. I'm not getting paid for it. So don't get me wrong. I could care less. I just have no idea what hits a spark and what doesn't.
Plus, as we found out, nobody knows who you are, Derek.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knows who you are.
So this guy went on X and said, all our players suck. None of them are better than championship level, including
bang average social media hyped championship players.
Garbage. Yeah, he said. Garbage. The problem with U.S. men's national team with their players are bang average from McKennie to Reyna. Go to the Golden Boy Pulisic. Bang average social media hype championship level players. Okay, so they should all be playing for Hull and whomever is in the champ, QPR or whomever. I called bullshit and I said,
no, I'll just slow down.
Yeah, right. What did I say? I don't remember. I was told your takes are bang average. I just used his own language back at him. Don't kill the messenger. Yes. He's like, yes, you lack original thought. I get it. Oh, like I couldn't think for myself. That was obviously a joke. I wasn't actually getting any word from anybody about how shitty your takes are. I was just trying to be nice, but fuck you then. Okay, I was lying. I think you're kind of a moron if you think CP is a championship player. I should have put, for example, there.
You've got to read this word for word, Derek, no matter how much it hurts.
I know. Considering I.
Just read it. It's horrible English.
Considering nor me or Christian or anyone else have any idea who you are, nobody will care. Enjoy your day. I don't think so, True Red. I know for sure I've been contacted by Christians peoples and told to stop calling them a virgin. So they've obviously seen the show. And as for anybody else, I would say they're like 4,000 people who probably. And then, we broke 1 million views. Okay. We just broke 1 million views. Okay. So there's that. 1 million people have watched this show. So I think other people have probably seen the show. True Red. And that makes you the dumbass poster of the week. Bam.
I mean, I still just can't get over the considering normie.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I mean, in what aspect of our language do you use the word nor, Derek?
Not there. You could see considering I nor Christian or anyone else have any idea who you are, nobody will care. That's gotten a lot of people in trouble in the past.
Or neither I nor Christian, yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not jerking myself off here. I think I'm small potatoes out there. But, in the small world that is U.S. soccer fanatic fans, I think that people listen to what we have to say. It's not a big world, though. It's just not. We don't get a whole lot of passive watchers. We don't get a lot of casuals who sign up for our show, say Tack does or Pete does, because they do a lot of good stuff, just video stuff, right? That's like 20 minutes long. You're going to get a lot more casuals.
The algorithm, yeah.
They're playing the algorithm. We're being fucking morons. All right, let's just be honest. All right, we just do this lazy ass 3 hours, 2 hour, 3 hour show every.
It's good enough. Good enough.
Yeah, it's too hard, to do all these.
Derek, we got to put out 3 shorts a day, 1 video a day, and
I can't do it.
Make sure we block all of our live streams, and maybe we can move them over to a different channel.
Yeah, I know. That's the plan. Not going to happen, though.
Guys, I can barely consistently get our podcast up on our RS feed,
And now that we're both working school schedules, it's crazy town to think that that's doable.
There's no chance. I mean, the only thing is that doing a short would be simply just whip out your phone, record something for 2 seconds, and throw it up there. You're done.
I'm glad you said phone. All right. All right. I listen to y'all, but I'm desperate.
I hear you. We'll take you because we're desperate.
We'll take it. We'll take it, Jeff Gary. All right. What else we got tonight? Thank you, True Red, for being the dumbass of the week.
Yeah, you got to come up with a theme song for that. It can't be the same tune though. We have to do something different.
No, I will. It'll be like dumbass of the week. What's the mouse Mighty Mouse theme?
Yeah.
Here I come to save the day.
It's like massively grand, like pops up like the Fox,
something like that.
But it's just like dumbass poster,
Here's your dumbass of the week, something like that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we're not going to have them every week, right? Because
we could try to find them.
We could. I just like to pick out the ones who say absurd, complete bullshit like this guy. I don't know what his deal is. Can we hover over him? I don't know who he is, but he apparently crime YouTuber? True crime? He unfortunately looks like our California friend, but he's not.
It's not.
No. And we like that California friend, but we disagree with him. Just he's sane. He's a sane person, right?
Man, we jumped into the wrong field. We could have done like true crime or some niche population of something that's, where we can pull in 360,000 plus people. He's got a nice little plaque behind him.
I mean, he does, but he's still an idiot. I mean, I don't know. I probably wouldn't disagree with all the things he says and other day real life things, but
I'll go out on a limb and say I will.
Okay.
Yeah, well, so long as we make the video, the song, the video, and everything different from this.
Do not panic. Do not panic. Cap them now. Cap them now. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. Adam Del Place. Or is it DePlace?
DePlace. I'm going to go with DePlace. That sounds cooler.
Yeah. Born
Del
in 2006, it is cooler sounding, is a promising young goalkeeper currently making strides in the youth ranks of League One's RC Lens. The French-American goalkeeper, has recently marked a significant milestone by making his first appearance on the bench for RC Lens first team this past weekend. DePlace joined RC Lens U19 squad in 2023, where he made 10 appearances and kept 3 clean sheets as a 17-year-old. That's like he just got hair on his nuts. Despite his youth, his inclusion in the first team match day shows how much he's valued with the French club. Although
hold on. First team with who?
Rennes. It's Rennes. That's how you pronounce that. I'm not kidding. That is how it's pronounced.
That's why I'm exaggerating.
Because it's got to be consistent with Reims, right? And Reims. I don't know. Although if you're having a conversation with somebody, you're like, did you say Rennes or did you say Reims? Because it sounds like you said the same thing. But one has an N and the other one has an M. All right. Okay, fine. Although there is some strong competition at goalkeeper, for example, coaching Beavers, Julian Eyestone, what? Andrew Ricky Bobby, Adam Baldry, and Duran Faree. We got some weird ass name motherfuckers playing goalkeeper for us in the youth. I mean, Beavers, Eyestone. Oh my god!
I mean, you pulled up Beavers before because of obvious reasons.
Right? So. Yeah, like Gavin Beavers, Having Beavers, Andrew. What's it? Julian. I'm a mother. Eyestone. Andrew. Ricky Bobby, Adam Baldry. I can't make one up for that, but Duran Faree sounds like a fruit from South Asia.
Or a band. Duran
Faree. Hopefully, this achievement has captured U.S. soccer's attention enough for him to be in contention for a roster spot in the upcoming U20 World Cup. I don't know. Who fucking knows? How does U.S. soccer, I mean, you look down the list of players they pick for the U20s. It's like MLS guy, MLS guy, MLS guy, MLS guy, MLS kid, MLS kid, MLS kid, USL kid, MLS kid. Oh, whoa, some kid from France. Oh, no, there you go. Some kid from Holland. Oh, one from Germany. MLS kid, MLS kid, MLS guy. I don't know how it's going to work out. Maybe they are paying attention. Maybe they're not. So it's really hard to say. I mean, we've been saying this on this show for a long time. There are tons of young Americans, a ton shit of them playing dual nats, playing in Europe right now in youth squads. And this is a goalkeeper. He's barely got hair on his balls. So let's give him some time, but we'll keep an eye on him. He looks skinny and weak.
Or does he look fast and elusive?
Or is he tall? I don't know. We don't know how tall he is. Maybe being this skinny and that tall are a good thing. We don't know. It's too soon to blow a gasket or jerk it off onto the wall. It's just not worth doing. We will all keep an eye on it. All right. For the 210 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma, and give your stepsister a peck on the cheek. Watch out for Montreal Cold Breath. What a name. Strong name. Cold Breath is breathing down your neck. Is a 2007 born German-American winger that plays in the Bayer Leverkusen youth system. The Landstuhl native has been involved with both the German-American youth setups, although after participating in a single U.S. 16 camp in 2022, Colbreth has been fully provisionally cap-tied to Germany after in all of Germany U17 Euro qualifiers last October, even assisting in one game. Yeah, apparently he just didn't like his time coming over here. That's fine. Colbreth started.
I know. I imagine his trip to the U16s was stimulating and all, but then he got to play in the Euro qualifiers for the U17 in Germany. So
apparently he was not very fond of the all-in kumbaya circle jerks that go on there. But Cole Breath started for the German U18s against the United States U17s today. That seems unfair that the German U18s get to play the US U17s.
Good.
Shouldn't
give those kids to play it. This is the USL MLS topic all over again.
I know.
Adults.
But still, shouldn't it be like the US U19s against the German U18s? It seems more fair. Anyhow, he showed out. I guess he stripped down naked.
Yeah.
Pulled out his cock and balls.
Nobody man-marked him, we'll put it that way.
Even drawing a penalty, which was converted. Colbreth has developed for 7 years in the Kaiserslautern. I would love them to get to the top, so Tack would have to pronounce that.
I was going to say, to get Tack to pronounce that, yeah.
Yeah, Kaiserslautern. Youth system until last July, where he made a move to reigning Bundesliga champions, Bayer Leverkusen's U17s. Yeah, it makes me laugh when he struggled with Borussia Mönchengladbach for so long, right? And then I'm like, for me, it's second nature, but I get it. It's a long word. That's a long team name.
Mönchengladbach. You don't have to do the beginning part.
You can say Gladbach for Christ's sake. Yep, that's what they say. That's a put.
That was always the fast way of typing in on Big Soccer was just M''Bach. Everybody knew who you're talking about.
Yeah. So again, not a player we can cap right now. Player we'll keep an eye on. A player that's got like a 10% to 15% chance of ever playing for the German national team. So don't freak out.
No, he is a player we could cap now. You'd have to follow the switch.
We're not going to cap him now. If we cap him now, it sets a bad precedent. Then we're going to have to cap that French kid. Then we're going to have to cap that other French kid that's going to come up here later. You can't cap them all. There's no way to do it.
They're Pokemon. We got to cap them all.
We can't even cap with these friendlies coming up. We're not capping coaching. No. Yet people are bitching about coaching going there instead of Slonina. I mean, that's just like grabbing two mouse turds and comparing. They're two young mouse turds. Let them grow. Maybe now mouse turd's not the right thing. They're two small, growing cells.
Wiener schnitzels.
Whatever. They've got both of those players got a long way to go. You can bring in coaching this time for these friendlies and bring in Slonina next time for the next friendlies. It's kind of weird to see that Slonina was slightly kind of offended by that. I mean, it seemed to me by saying, got to believe in yourself. This is big X post. Okay, well, it's not like they don't believe in you. It's just like this is a calculated decision they're going to make right now. Did we need to bring both Horvath and Turner? Probably not. That seems redundant.
That's what I said.
Both guys not playing that well.
I think I literally said that on Monday's
show.
Or
at all.
Take on with that.
We got to bring one of them. Got to have one older guy there, right?
I believe I specifically said, but do we really need both of them?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it. Yeah, I'm fine with that. What did I say?
Yeah, that right there. Like, yeah, probably should. I'm like,
okay, so I agreed with you.
So you agree with you agree with what you just said. Now, like, I think they should have brought both.
Me going, yeah, is me agreeing with you. Back then.
No.
Yeah, it was.
No.
I agree. I would agree with that.
I said, do we really need both? And we're like, we maybe even said like, not really, but I understand why. Maybe that's what you said.
Okay, if I said that, I agreed with you, but I can see why. That means I can see why they did it anyhow. Because
it's weird because you followed it up with saying, I want Turner to start in goal and Horvath to start as one of the center backs. I didn't know where that came from.
No, I did not say that. All right, quit making shit up. All right. I know people are going crazy in the comments about Nathaniel Brown. Listen, another guy we got to keep your eye on, right? You just got to. Our old friend Brian Schroeder, who we've known since 2011. I've heard that FC Tulsa's Santi Sanchez has been training at Feyenoord the last 10 days. Well, the 16-year-old attacker, what he's really been training for is Feyenoord's youth team. Really, let's be honest. The 16-year-old, Yeah, the 16-year-old attacker has played for Tulsa's first team this year, a dual national with Mexico. He has yet to appear for either country, but Mexico might make the first move. Well, let them make the first move. Those fucking fondlers of 16-year-olds, let them have it. Just go ahead, let them make the first fondling move because they're gross. They're obscene. They're desperate, too. Like the smell of desperation from the Mexican national team and the federation just wafts from them. Just it stinks to even be around the federation and the Mexican team because they're bad. This is the worst generation of Mexican players ever in the history of Mexico. And I know I've been watching them for fucking over 30 years.
Or is it that we've just gotten better?
Nope, they've gotten worse.
They've gotten worse. Maybe both. We get Pade and Papi. Pade, Papi.
I mean, just think of the big stars that used to be on those teams in the past. So they just don't have those guys anymore. They're nobody you're really that afraid of on that team anymore.
God, do you remember watching Jonathan Gonzalez play a lot?
Who?
Jonathan Gonzalez.
Yeah. But, well, I mean, he barely made the team, and then they didn't
run the joke right into the ground, Derek.
I didn't get the joke.
You're like, hey, you remember all the great players that played for Mexico in the past, and I brought up Jonathan Gonzalez.
Oh yeah, okay. I just didn't get it. No, I thought you're trying to say something there, but no, Jonathan Gonzalez. Obviously, they made very nice offers to him and promises that never worked out.
It was a fallback girl, basically. You know, he felt snubbed.
Yeah,
thought the USA, cheated on him with somebody else, and he's like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna go with this other chick over here."
And it was that CBS dude, the old man with the movie where he coached the fucking whatever Toga team or whatever the hell the island team was.
Oh, Rongan.
Yeah, wrong again. I like that better than Rongan. Wrong again.
You're coached by that old guy. I'm like,
well, he's old now for sure. But Rongan's
old
like,
man, man.
oh no, I had meetings with his parents.
Yes,
how he talks. He's like, I met them personally. I sat down with them. I had many discussions with them. No, you didn't, Dick. They flat out denied you. They didn't even know who you were. They never met you before. They never met you in person. You liar. That's when I lost most of my respect for Rongren that I'd already lost prior to that anyhow. So anyhow.
I like how we're having a captivating conversation about U.S. lore and history of a player that got snubbed by the Federation.
Yes.
And the entire chat's talking about Balogun snubbing England.
Listen, people,
like they're on the same page, just not the same paragraph right now.
Even now, looking at what England is and who they have, Harry Kane and several other center forwards who you would consider to be pretty damn good. I think Balogun would struggle to make that squad now. Especially now after
the way he's playing.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Monaco don't play the kind of ball that they play possession ball, which means he's not getting a whole lot of through balls in between lanes. And that's what Balogun needs to thrive. He's not getting it. So he kind of picked the wrong club. He wouldn't better off probably staying where he was, where they play the way he likes to play. That's kind of some of the decisions you have to make. You and your agent have to decide. Right?
Well, the problem there was that he was with Rems, wasn't it? Who was he with prior?
I think it was Rems. Yeah,
he was with Rems. They didn't want to spend the $30 million to get him on a transfer.
Right,
That was the big problem.
As far as Southgate's decision not to call him up, totally justifiable based on their depth. I'm sorry, just was. I'm glad we got him because of that, but I don't doubt that when he signed for us or decided to make that switch, there was some bitterness in his soul. I don't doubt it. Bitterness does play a part sometimes in making a decision.
Well, he was what? I mean, that had occurred during his time at Reims, right?
Right.
So he was bagging goal after goal after goal. and he felt snub because England came back and said, "Yeah, we want to call you up for our U21s."
Yeah, right.
And he's just like, "WTF? I've got more goals than X, Y, and Z."
Whereas I don't think the Musa call up or Musa full-time commitment to us was better at all. And I don't see him as a better person anyhow. Musa's just not that way. But
he'd be constantly smiling while bad mouthing Southgate in England.
Yeah, he never did it. He just picked us. He liked our guys. You know, he'd played in some of our youth systems. No big deal, right?
That was the other thing right here. He gets suspended, and they didn't replace him. And the very next day, Balogun ended up flying down to Florida.
Yep. And I do think if they did replace Tony, it wouldn't have been Balogun anyhow. Let's be real honest. Say hello to Brighton's young American midfielder from Turkey and the United States. Darius Lane is a 2007 born English, French, American. Which country was he born in? For holy Christ. Can you tell us which one of the ones he was born in? I guess he was born in all three at the same time. He was flying in a plane over England, France, and the United States, and being born like he first feet popped out over England. Then his belly button came out over France. And by the time his head came out, he was in the America. Whatever, dude. Give us some information. I love you, brother, by the way. I like your posts. But
Transfer Market has him listed as just American.
Born
and
where?
France. Citizenship for United States and France.
Born
free
in the USA, because I was.
It just doesn't have the location of birth on here. Weird.
Maybe he was born on a plane. Like partially, his feet came out in England. Then they got the belly button. Mom's having a hard time delivering. The belly button came out around France, and then they really struggled. But by the time they landed in New York, the whole head was out. Right?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't know what the law is on that. Anyhow, it's been reported by Fabrizio Romano. Anyhow, how does that work, Brett? If you're on a plane, you're born on a plane.
You go based off your parents, I guess.
I guess just, right? Because you're not born in a country. You're born over an ocean or wherever you're flying over. Right. I don't know.
Citizen of the Atlantic.
Citizen of the Pacific on the other side. Oh, yeah. All right. It's been reported by Fabrizio Romano. I'm starting to get really worried about Fabrizio Romano and a lot of the other mainstream guys, and we'll get to this because, I mean, he's mostly right. It's just like this Poach thing starting to drag on here. All right. He said that Lane will sign a professional contract with the Premier League side Brighton later this year. Lane, 16 years old, has been reportedly promoted to Brighton's U18s this season, where he's competing with the U18 Premier League. Lane has gotten off to a strong season, starting all 3 games and assisting twice. This summer, Lane was invited to train. To form a train? Oh, to train with the U.S. Olympic team. Okay. Before the tournament. I thought he might be getting involved into a porn or something.
No. Or instead of being born in the airplane, he's now on a train.
Now he's on a train. Planes, trains, automobiles.
Is that regressing at that point? Go from a plane to a train? And then next would be automobiles. You're right. So I was gonna state a factual what I think the answer is. So BMR does say most countries have citizenship based off what nationality the parents have and not where you're born. So that would lead me to think, looking at those 3 countries, I would think born in the U.S. to French and English parents.
Maybe, yeah. Dad's English with the last name Lane, obviously. Anyhow, if we had to guess, but BMR's right. That is how it works in most countries. Unlike the United States, where if you're just born here, you're a citizen, period. But in other countries, not the case at all. In other countries, you can't have shared citizenship. For a long time, my mom couldn't be a German citizen and an American citizen. She had to pick one, but now she can do both. So that's just how it works these days. All right.
Yeah.
But things for the most part, BMR is absolutely right. I don't know if my mom even bothered with the German citizenship thing. She doesn't have any plans to go back. All right, obviously, she's married to my dad. They live here in Noblesville and Florida the other half of the year. All right, that's enough, Darius Lane. Come on. Come on. It's too early, people. Thank you for the report.
He's been with the US U-17s, though.
I'm happy to know. I'm glad I'm aware of Darius Lane. And I do think we need to keep an eyeball on all these people. So I'm happy with the report. What I don't want to see is people get too excited about it too early.
You know, Derek, we need to come up with a transfer news and dual nap panic combo. Like, we need to mash them together. Because there are instances, and I'm going to go ahead and play the song for it, but there are instances where it's both.
Okay.
Transfer news, transfer news. Who's getting mounted on transfer news? Who's getting ogled on transfer news? Transfer news. Everyone loves that transfer news, but me. Whatever.
Real quickly, though, Jeff Carey did point out that he missed a super chat, and I figured bring it up now because we were just talking about that.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for $4.99. I hope this is not another shaving question, but England is not a country. UK is a country. I have strong feelings about this matter. Who is elected leaders of England and England is actually a country. The UK is a kingdom of
conglomerate of countries.
Partnership between Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. I don't know, Jeff. I think England competes as a country on its own in the World Cup. I don't know. It gets into technicalities, I guess, really. What is the government of England?
What? Oh, sorry, the next one.
Yeah, what is the government of England? They do not have a government. Well, they do have a prime minister
who can be Scottish, Welsh, or Northern Ireland.
I don't believe so. I believe all those have an autonomous.
I think the prime minister of England has been Scottish.
Not that I know of. Go look that up. There's never been a Scottish prime minister of England. That would be crazy town if that happened. And there are autonomous there are autonomous machinations for all the other countries. Scotland, Northern Ireland, all have, of course, they all serve underneath the Queen. That's the unifying thing, right? Or in this case, the King, because Elizabeth is dead. So it's complex, or maybe it's really not. It's just we don't live there and have to deal with it every day today. But England is a separate country. They do make laws on their own.
This is the list of former prime ministers of the United Kingdom by birthplace. England, Scotland, United Kingdom, Kingdom of Ireland, England, Kingdom of Ireland, Scotland.
But that's where they were born. It's not fair. There were so many people that were born in Scotland, Northern Ireland, but moved as young children to England. Yeah, I don't think that's fair.
Then they have very loosey-goosey terms as far as of prime ministers compared to, say, being a president, where you can't be born from another country and then come be a president.
Yeah, they do. As long as you're part of the United Kingdom, you can do that. How about anything modern?
I'm sure they don't. I'm sure they don't still live in Scotland when they become prime ministers in that sense. But I'm sure they are Scottish who become prime ministers.
No, they become England. This is country of birth.
Yes.
Okay. So they've been living there for a while. I can guarantee you that for sure. Look at when Arthur Balfour moved to England.
You want me to look up a guy that was born, the prime minister from 1902 to 1905?
Well, whatever you want to do. You keep going if you want
to. Look at New Brunswick. Guy was born in New Brunswick was prime minister. You don't even have to be part of the UK. I mean, I guess we were talking. They were talking about the UK being other countries as well.
So back then, they were part of the Look at one guy was born.
Boris Johnson's from the
United States. For Christ's sake,
he moved back to England. Though. The United States doesn't count. Okay.
Where you're born, he's an English citizen.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter. That's the point.
That's just. I think he's a citizen of the UK. If that's a thing. I don't know how that works out. This is just not worth the time.
No, it's not. I don't know enough about the machinations of how that works because it's really complicated. You also have like a European Congress and all that shit. I'll wait and see who gives a shit. I agree. I'm at that point too. Like, who gives a shit? Let's just move on. But I've never really heard Tony Blair, for instance, being announced as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He's always, or Margaret Thatcher, they were always introduced as the Prime Minister of England. Okay? So we're moving on. All right, we're moving on. We got distracted.
I just need to get one more thing about the topic at hand. Then we'll move on.
We are?
That's what you just did. Like, yeah, who gives a shit? Let's move on. But I've never heard of X, Y, and Z. No,
I just want to clarify. Because somebody said they were the Prime Minister of the UK. I'm sure that position exists. Whatever. Sure does. But never heard the actual Prime Minister of the country of England who lives in London be called the Prime Minister of the UK. I've just never heard it be that way. Caden Pierre's move to Genk has been finalized. Transfer fees Sporting Kansas City will receive is in excess of $1 million sell-on percentage for Pierre. That's not a whole lot of money. So Genk's basically taking a chance on a young player, and we'll see what happens.
Hey, you know what? I'm cool with the fact that it's not some exorbitant amount of money. Like
I'm all right.
Player, and all of a sudden you're getting like a $4 million, whatever. And it's just like they got nowhere to go but down at that point when they get to Europe because nobody's going to want to sell under that market value of what they just bought him for, and nobody's going to pay for this amount because this player hasn't accomplished anything in Europe yet. So
right. Now I'm getting pissed.
What about?
Getting pissed.
I hear you said that twice. What about?
Is there a difference between being the Prime Minister of England and the Prime Minister of fucking the UK?
Who's the Prime Minister of the UK?
Keir Starmer. Yes. Okay.
Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Okay. Guess they are the Prime Minister of all things, but aren't there some autonomous government operations going on in Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales? I think there are. Anyhow, whatever. Fuck it. Fuck it.
All right. So speaking of transfer news, Derek.
Jeff Carey could be right, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Speaking of transfer news, or transferless news?
Bochum, we're interested. Oh, God. All right. So this guy's covering his own ball sack from saying that BVB, he was one along amongst others that agreed with the whole idea that BVB wanted nothing to do. Reina had no future at Dortmund, and he was as good as gone.
I thought he was just similar to how he's quoting Bild here. I thought he was just quoting Sky or whoever it was.
I don't know.
I remember posting that too. The whole he's got no interest in Dortmund or whatever. No future in Dortmund, I think is what it was.
That's what he said.
But I thought he was quoting Sky or whomever it was.
But the truth is, Dortmund had never any intentions of ever letting Reina go this season. Did
somebody say that for months?
Yeah, we said it for months. Months before he stayed at Dortmund. And as Dortmund originally only wanted to sell the player and no club could be found, they knew that already. Bochum hoped the door would be open for a loan at the end. And now he's saying that Reina wanted to do that. No. I could tell you, no, he did not. He wanted to fight for a spot at Dortmund, period, especially with the new coach, Sahin. This is bullshit. All this is bullshit. And we've been calling out all the fucking Reina bullshit for a long time now. There's a reason.
Did Bochum get promoted? Or are they in Bundes too?
think they're promoted. Yeah.
I don't even know that now.
So
I keep talking. I'm going to look this up real quick.
We've been calling this out for some time. All of these fucking bullshit reports by the mainstream media.
They got promoted, yeah.
All of them have been wrong about Reina. All of them. Why? I don't know. Just they need to do some basic fucking research and read. Like, you could read what the board's talking about too. Like, try to dip in a little further, and then you'll know what their plan really is or what their general plan is. I just don't understand this. I don't get it. I don't understand why they're so far off, because I think they're just trying for clicks. That's all I could think of.
Well, they're not. Just like you, Derek. They are not monetized.
Right.
So.
Well, that's fine. But I don't know. They're not building any good, because basically he's just trying to make an excuse for his horrible call earlier that, oh, he has no future. Now it's like, oh, well, wait a minute. What really happened was, I didn't mean to say he had no future, is that the Reina camp was interesting moving to Bochum. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. I can tell you they were not. That's bullshit too. Just saying. You don't have to believe me. I don't care if you believe me. Whatever.
So
but
if they were to say guaranteed playing time, do you think Dortmund would have been okay with it?
I think that I know that Reina and Sahin and the training staff and the leadership at Dortmund have sat down with Reina and talked to him about how he can make an impact this season and what he needs to do it.
Yeah, well, that was the previous quotes that we pulled up in previous shows. They talked about that too. You know, we let him know the role he's going to play this season, and he's got to get comfortable with it.
And I can confirm that those discussions happened. And I can confirm that there was never, ever any intention by Dortmund of selling fucking Reina this season. That's fast. No way. Never. Just never was. Sorry. Go read the board's post from last year. I'm sure they're still public. And that's why Terzic got fired. Didn't play the young guys. Not that they loved him getting to the Champions League final, but they're like, yeah, still fuck off. You're ruining all our young players' market values. You're destroying their market values. We lost $80 million in market values on young players while you were here. Terzic, you're gone. That's why we're bringing in a young guy named Sahin, who knows some of these young guys, because Sahin was there before as a player. So, yep. All right, enough of that. That's the end of that. We don't need to talk about that. For the 300 of you here right now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandmother. Lean over and just tap your stepsister on the thigh and wake her up after all that fucking UK Parliament talk. Jesus, and
it's still
Prime Minister talk.
It's still littered in the chat at this point. Every now and then it pops back up. Derek, did you know at the age of 21 that you can be dangerously close to being washed up, or what if, or almost a never has been, if you will?
The fact that he used the word dangerously, Joseph Lowry, is repugnant. And as Taylor Tight Shirt Twelman is perfectly chimed in saying here, huh? He's 21. Sheesh.
Yeah.
He is 21. Now, this doesn't mean Brett and I are not going to be up Reina's asshole all season when he gets chances to play.
I mean, we are going to be, regardless.
We're going to be up his asshole. We want to see some results this season from him when he gets to play. So this whole we're dangerously close to Gio being stuck in what if territory. Maybe Joseph is like dangerously close to a hard-on. I don't really understand this kind of commentary. Like, how is a 21-year-old dangerously close to being stuck in what if territory? Like purgatory? Is this Shakespeare? But for the rest of his career, man, that's a very dangerously irresponsible comment to make, actually. If it's your opinion, fine. But you write for art articles, soccer articles. People think of you as somebody who knows what they're talking about.
The Guardian, The Athletic.
Yep.
I mean, I guess ultimately, and somebody posted this, I forgot who it was, but made the comment simply saying that Dempsey hadn't even made his professional debut at the age of 21. Now, he did end up getting, drafted by New England about the age of 21, 22 range, I think. It was about that time period. But yeah, I get the whole point is that Reyna's been around for a long fucking time. From our youth teams all the way up into an early signing at Dortmund. He's been there for a handful of years now. And yes, he's gone through some unfortunate circumstances. And like Derek said, we said this from the get-go during the preseason that it's put up or shut up time for Reyna at Dortmund. If he's not going anywhere, he's got to do something. If he's not going to do something, he's going to leave. And going to leave regardless. But as we talked about, Dortmund wants to rake up that rebound off that market value before anything comes to fruition. So,
and it's not all up to him. It's not 100% on Reyna. It's like 80% up to Reyna because the coach still needs to see a way for you to fit into what he wants to do on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, and he sees you as a pure number 10, and that's all he sees you as, then you're probably not going to get a lot of opportunities on the field because that's somebody else's position. So, there needs to be, you're hoping that he gets to play out wide sometimes, or he gets to play in the middle sometimes. He gets to play a lot of different spots, maybe second striker, if they need a goal real bad. So we'll see what happens. But I'm really sick of this bullshit. I'm sick of the clownery is what I'm sick of. Just people freaking out. He's 21. And, okay, now he has this injury. So now he's injury prone. Right, Brett? This confirms it. He's injury prone. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Okay, we'll come back to Soccer Dad in just a sec. Just to pull this up. So his last major muscular issue, he's had, some niggling ones that pop up, but it's only out for a week. I can't quite say that's an injury.
No,
it's sort of like I'm out for a game, basically.
Right.
Last one was literally what was it, like April of 2022?
Yep.
Maybe fitness, but I think that's the preseason, so that can't count. I'm not counting that. Muscle injury was over 2 years ago when it comes to the whole groin injury thing.
Yep.
So
2 years, you can say, well, he hasn't played much 2 years. I mean, he's played for us. Hasn't got injured during that. So is he injury prone? Like, if you look at any list of lots of different players, they're going to suffer one injury a season, maybe for a week, maybe 2 weeks, whatever. But then they're back again. I'd say for most teams, they suffer injuries throughout the season to various players. This is not a surprise. This does not make him injury prone. And we don't even know how bad this injury is. It's a testicular groin issue, and he could be fine, but they're just not going to risk it. They're just like, nope, it could be fine in 3 days, 5 days, a week, 2 weeks. I don't know, but we're not risking it. We're sending him home. Somebody else sent me a PM that said, well, maybe this is the plan all along because he wants to get ready for that next game in the Bundesliga. And I'm like, usually if you go back and look at players like Timmy Chandler, they would do that so they didn't have to get on the plane in the first place and fly all the way here to find out they had a groin injury. They would either have one before the flight and already get that out of the way. Most players do. They don't get on a plane healthy, come here, and then have a groin injury. You usually figure that out before you leave.
So here's the thing. Here's Giovanni Reyna's injury history, including everything from illnesses to muscle strains to a fissure in the fibula. Okay. He's hold on. I want to be accurate completely. Nope, that was it. One more muscular problem. Okay. So that's all. It's already gone. Well, we all saw it. But here's another player. Here's Timmy Weah.
Yep.
He seems to have he's had some lengthy ones too. 136 days, 193 days. 46, 46, 47.
Seems pretty damn injury prone to me.
Here's Christian Pulisic. I know we've all talked about the fact that he always picked up an injury in EPL and stuff, but he's got a list as well, guys. Why is that
at Chelsea?
And don't forget Dortmund. Like, he missed mini games at Dortmund too.
Yep.
So I guess the point is when you start talking about somebody being injury prone, you would look at somebody, say Tyler Adams.
Yes.
Who picks up the same injury every 45 days.
Yep.
And a muscular problem could be anything. Could be a hammy issue, could be a groin issue.
Hernia. Sport hernia.
Yeah. So, again, Gio went about 2 full years. Now, mind you, as we mentioned, he may not have played so much during his club time. He did play a lot with us. However, it's been 2 full years since a major injury of his.
And this, we don't even know if it's major. They just don't want to risk it. It's a hammy pull. They're like, nah, dude, just go home. Just go home.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with it.
Right. And obviously it might have been something he picked up in practice. Because apparently he didn't have it on the flight here. So
and I get we'll see what happens when he's back at Dortmund. Are they going to announce it's an injury and he's going to be out for X amount of weeks, or is he going to be right back in the 18 next game day? At that point, I can't classify that as being injury prone because he's back in it immediately.
And we've seen that before, by the way.
I mean, if I go, we have a game on Saturday. If I go out and I sprain my ankle twisting it on the ball, it's not because I'm injury prone. Something happened for that short period. I go back and I rest and I start back up. I don't know.
Well, Reina's hammy's been fine for 2 years, so we'll see what happens. And anyhow, we don't know how minor it was. You can tweak a hammy. They're just like, dude, we ain't risking this. We'll get bitched out by Dortmund if we risk you. So we're sending you back to Dortmund.
And the final thing, I don't think Pulisic is injury prone. I don't think Timothy Weah is injury prone. I don't think Reina is injury prone. The only person I can flat out state that I think is actually injury prone is
Adams.
The other person prior to that I would think of would be Bacon. Bacon was out all the time with hip injuries. It's a consistent thing that's coming over and over and over.
I mean, I can think of others too. We got spaghetti ligaments guy.
We got
Gat. I mean, there were guys that, yeah, for sure. Sargent, you can.
DK is a great example right there.
Yes.
Mind you, that's a different injury like every season. That's almost season ending. So.
Right. I wouldn't say Sargent yet. I think he's played through those injuries. That ankle injury.
I think it's been the same ankle. I think he busted his ankle in the World Cup and then he tore it just after.
Right. I think he'll be fine.
Rankin. Wow, I haven't heard Charles Rankin in a long time.
Yeah, Rankin was bad. Ledesma was horrible for years. Yes. Maybe it's over now. I don't know. We don't know.
Ledesma's not going to get injured by playing the way he's playing at PSV right now. Super safe. I'm just going to jog over here, get the ball, pass it back to him.
Super safe for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. For the 300 review here now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. All right. What else we got?
Speaking of somebody who's injured.
By the way, that's 300 on Twitter and X.
X and YouTube.
And YouTube. Yep. PSV have registered Serginho Dest for the UEFA Champions League group stages. If his recovery goes well, he could make his return in January per Riffelfrink.
How far did the group stages really go into the season? I mean, if he's back by January, how many more games in the group stages do you have?
I don't know. They're hopeful.
Do you need to be registered during the group stages in order to be part of the groups or knockout stages?
Yep.
Okay, then who cares about when it matters? Just as long as he's listed.
He's listed, so he'll be good. We'll see if he is healthy by January. That would be great.
Apparently, the Champions League has a new format. I have not followed that aspect.
Oh God, yes. I'm not getting into it.
I don't know. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Dude, it is fucking stupid as hell. It is the dumbest, most perplexing crap ever.
And BMR does say no, the knockout stages are separate.
Yes.
So you don't have to be listed for the group stages to be included in knockouts.
Yep.
Okay. I'll do my homework, Gus. I was not a part of the Champions League news, apparently.
I guess not, but yeah, they fucked that whole tournament out. But oh well. Okay. It used to be like really clearly understandable. Kind of like NASCAR used to be, and now they got group stages and shit. It's completely retarded. Stupid, excuse me.
Yeah. You got any mid Yanks abroad midday week or whatever? Nothing?
Nope. There was nothing.
I guess most people were probably on their way to their clubs or their national teams at that point. So
yep.
Okay. Well, we're gonna jump right into some of the main topic here.
Let's do it.
The whole point of this is it's the topic of the day is it's Thursday. Where's Pochettino? U.S. soccer. What the fuck is going on? So, just to give some context for those who may not
hold up, 1 second. Lamar, sorry, says, "Bitch, don't say the R word." I apologize for that. We're moving on. Get over it. All right, go ahead, Brett. Sorry.
Yeah. So to give some context as far as why the show is listed that way. Yep.
Sources. Mauricio Pochettino will be officially unveiled as the U.S. men's national team head coach this Wednesday. September camp roster and the signing of Pochettino will be announced separately. Well, he got that wrong, didn't he? The week we all been waiting for is upon us.
Woo!
But it's, to be fair to him, it's not just him.
No, other people would do it. Well, Fabrizio has been on it since August 15th.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I've heard that Pochettino is officially signed. He is the new U.S. men's national team coach. U.S. soccer is deathly silent until current day.
So I have my own theory about this, and I think it's pretty close based on what and the way U.S. soccer operates. I said, here's how I'm picturing Poch's big announcement for the U.S. men's national team. First or second friendly this window, they'll prime us up with a big halftime announcement, cup coming at the beginning of the show, and then they'll announce Poch at halftime and maybe even interview him for 5 minutes. That's just a guess. That's how U.S. soccer likes to jizz in their pants.
It happened with Berhalter in the Nations League.
Yep.
It happened during the Mexico halftime. All of a sudden, Berhalter was re-announced as the manager of the United States national team. So yeah, Derek, you texted me this and you said, I think this is what's going to happen. I go, no, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, I just think it is. Knowing how they operate, there's not going to be something where Cindy Parlow-Cone and JT Batson and Matt Crocker come onto a stage together and sit with Pochettino, and that's going to happen after the big announcement at halftime at one of the two friendlies coming up. And then that's when they'll jizz in their pants some more, and they won't post it up. We'll have to watch it through Jizz News or whatever's available. Can't remember the name of the two venues we use. Yeah, because we have to go there to get the interviews because U.S. Soccer doesn't post them up.
JRE.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's one of those things that I keep talking about, like, hey, the longer it goes, the more tinfoil hatty I am. But with all the media and all of the insiders saying it's happening is reassuring me in the sense that they're not fucking this up. They're going to make a spectacle out of it. And that's all it is. I'm sure this is all, they probably had the Chelsea thing all wrapped up weeks ago, and they wanted to just do this big grand announcement at halftime of the Canada game. I'm saying this Saturday it's going to be announced most likely. It's my guess.
I would only say the difference is PT69 says, as soon as Berhalter got rehired, we all immediately became flaccid. So that was not something that was exciting at all when they announced Berhalter in that game that he was taking back over. We are like, you sucked us in for this crap? For this?
You got to remember, there is a large portion of the fan base that aren't as active or in tune as a lot of us are. Just when I say a lot of us, I mean Twitter people who are finally, with a fine-tooth comb combing over everything, breaking stuff down. They just they watch the game and we won. We beat Guatemala 1-0. Hey, we won, guys. That's all that matters, right? That's all they care about. They're like, hey, this guy won Nations League a couple times. He's done this. He's done that. Hey, look at that.
So last weekend, I was at my parents' to cook them dinner. And by the way, it was fantastic. It was, those I ordered from Italy, those little rolled up balls of pasta. Oh, so good. With
Bollatini?
No.
Oh, okay.
Bollatini. No. Anyhow, I forgot what they're called, but I had that with scallops. Anyhow, spectacular. But
is this it?
No, not noci. No, it's actually spaghetti, but they come in nests. So you put them in, they cook. It's like I can't say they're linguine because they're wider than that. But they're fantastic. Anyhow, I ordered them from Italy, got them, took them to my parents, cooked them that with scallops and mushrooms and delicious stuff. Delicious stuff. And my dad says during dinner, I thought you said they hired this coach guy. He said, I haven't seen that. I'm like, yeah, Dad, that hasn't happened yet. Sorry. It wasn't like a sorry. It's like, I was just basically saying, I thought it was a done deal, but now we're waiting again. We got to wait this whole next week now. It's been a month. And we don't know. So my only thing I can surmise at this point is we're waiting for the halftime show, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're waiting for. All right. So everybody doesn't know what those are. Hold on, Brett. I'm going to go get one so people can see it. I'll be right back. Can you hold on?
All right. Yeah. Thank you for covering your camera so we don't see your balls. Yeah. So he's going to go get his Italian balls just so you guys can see them. I'll hold off on this because I want to hear Derek's take on the super chat, though.
All right, Brett. What they're called is Parpadella pasta nests, imported from Italy. And this is what they look like. They're like little
in front of your face.
They're like little nests of pasta. Parpadella is what they're called.
Like an Italian version of a meat pie.
No, I mean they're noodles. They're just noodles, dry noodles in a bundle, right?
I'm just saying. It looked like a meat pie. Is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a pie. I know it's noodles. They're Italian, Derek. Of course, they're noodles.
I think you're just hungry.
No, actually, I'm good. I had some angel hair pasta today, actually, for dinner. So I'm sated. I'm good.
Just angel hair pasta, no meats.
No, I don't actually. I didn't have any hamburger.
No hamburger.
No hamburger. No.
So just the spaghetti with butter.
Spaghetti with sauce.
Sauce, red sauce.
Yeah.
Okay. That's traditional American fare.
Seasoned properly.
Yeah.
Of course.
No, these
garlic salt, and pepper.
I would definitely recommend anybody to order these Parpadella pasta nests, imported from Italy. Where from Italy? Anyhow, I don't know where I got them from. Doesn't matter. Anyhow, just look it up online. You'll find them. They're great, and they're well worth it if you like pasta. And I like to use them with the clam sauce and the
whoa, the clam sauce. You shouldn't be ordering anything from the clan, Derek.
Clam.
Oh. Whew.
We don't do that here, Brett.
No, that's what threw me for a loop when you said clam sauce.
No, clam sauce. All right. Jeff Carey, more infamous in the U.S., Caitlin Clark or Pulisic? More infamous?
It's Caitlin Clark.
Or more famous? Caitlin Clark, by far.
More famous. It says more famous. Doesn't say infamous.
I know. I don't know where I got infamous from. No, it's Caitlin Clark by far.
Yeah. So 100%. It's 100%.
Not even
close. It's not even close, guys.
It's not even close. Not even close.
No
Caitlin Clark.
chance.
And we live in Indiana, so just imagine that.
Dude,
right?
my Twitter feed is just stupidly full of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and I'm like, and this I think this is all just a marketing ploy. I know we said they joke around and say about Pulisic and McKinney and all the Americans in Italy and stuff like that. I feel like this has to be some kind of a marketing ploy because now I actually know WNBA players.
I know. It's working. It's working.
Oh,
whatever it is, it's working. People are watching the WNBA. I think the Fever are on like an 8 or 9 game winning streak. They may qualify for the playoffs already. I heard on the radio this morning on the way to work. So, yeah, I mean, we need something like that for men's soccer in the U.S. And we just don't. We've got nothing like Caitlin Clark going. I mean, we maybe do. I think Pulisic's a really, 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 really good player. But it's just not gaining the steam you would hope. Okay. So anyhow, that's my announcement. That's how I think it's going to happen. We will move on.
Well, sort of move on. There's more talk.
Yep.
From World Soccer Talk here.
Select U.S. soccer executives are flying to Barcelona to finalize an agreement on Friday with Mauricio Pochettino become the next U.S. men's national team head coach. The plan is to record Pochettino in an announcement video to release Friday or Saturday. We all know it's going to be Saturday.
Weird how it's all lining up, right?
It's going to be Saturday during the game, people.
Why would they go fly out there Friday to release it Friday?
Yeah, they're not going to.
You've already waited for so long at this point. You might as well make a spectacle of it. Like I said.
And does anybody know how incompetent U.S. soccer is? We're lucky they're going to get it out by Saturday. We're lucky they'd be able to get it out by Saturday.
The speeds here suck.
They got to call.
Snake says every day a new report comes out that contradicts the last one.
They got to call the janitor in to post it up. So yeah, it's got to give the janitor an extra day to work out the tech issues there in the basement of U.S. soccer where they tell him what to do and he puts it up.
This is how he types too, man.
He's a pecker. He's a pecker.
Well, I mean, I imagine he's an elderly custodian,
like
working
60?
down the basement. He doesn't understand what the home row keys are. He doesn't 60 words per minute, maybe per hour.
I wouldn't do elderly. I'd say like before retirement age.
You just don't want to use elderly because you're
yeah, bitch, because I'm close to it. So shut up. All right. Well, yeah, I don't want to make him 60. That's
60 is not that old, Brett.
No, it's like 7 years older than me. God damn it.
60 is the new 35.
I was just saying 60. Can we make him younger, please? All right.
If we're talking about the pecs, the pec typing, it's got to be older. I mean,
I used to say
there's definitely some people older than me that know the home row keys and can, type 60, 70 words per minute. But I feel like my generation, the borderline Gen X and millennial generation was the first one to really start work on that home row key out. So the whole 60 words per minute started with us.
Oh yeah, for sure. Even I was doing it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's still I still know a lot of peckers. So, when I used to say that when I would meet somebody at the Hope Foundation who would be typing and they were older than me and they're pecking away. I'm like, you're kind of a pecker, aren't you? And they're like, what? Excuse me? I'm like, you peck at the keys. Oh, yeah. But and then I'd also say to people in the morning when they were a little grouchy, be like, you're kind of a little testy this morning. You're a little testy this morning. They're like, what? I'm like, testy. Like testy, Testy? You've never heard that word before?
Learn the English language. Come on.
Jesus fucking Christ.
They're like testicles. Come on.
Oh, I thought you were calling me like a testicle. No, that's a word. Testy.
Are you
what
saying
the fuck is wrong with people? God damn it. All right. Kinkalo for $4.99. Thank you, brother. Derek is a certified, whatever the hell that is.
Rose
bitter at 54. I'll ship you a pack of pissy.
Pocket. I think it meant to be pocket.
Is it certified pocket bitter?
No. I mean, a packet of pussy. I thought that meant to be a pocket pussy.
A pocket of pussy, or offer my stepsis. Oh my God.
Given all this different symbols and the emojis and stuff, I feel like he really had to wiggle that in to make YouTube accept it.
Let me just say this, King Kalo. I don't need all that, but I appreciate it very much. I appreciate you're willing to make the offer.
Not even a night with the stepsister? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I haven't seen her.
That's fair.
I mean, if I got some photos, I might be able to work that out. But hey, I'm not above a one-night stand at this point. I just don't want a relationship. All right.
One second. That's not what I wanted to share.
That's not it.
I wanted to share this right here.
Okay. 11EX says, remember when the fans said the players were complacent soft for not wanting Greg back? Yeah. Seems to be the general consensus now. I know. Isn't that amazing? They're all like, yeah, we need a harder ass motherfucker now.
Dude, go back a handful of years ago. We were coming up, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed and everything, and we're saying things and people are calling us toxic, and then by the end of the World Cup time period, all of a sudden you hear everybody on the media parroting the same things we've been saying for years.
Yeah.
And it's like it seems like they're always like a year behind. Maybe they're catching up a little faster, but we were saying, the fans, the players were soft for wanting Greg back.
Mm-hmm.
When Pulisic did that interview with that Irish dude, I don't know his name still. When they did an interview,
it was mostly the Irish dude talking the whole time.
Fair enough. But you and I said basically that people were getting pissed at Pulisic, and we're like, well, all Pulisic is saying is like, hey, I don't care who's coaching, but I'll take Greg back because I feel pretty comfortable in his system. Is basically what he was saying.
Literally what McKennie said too. Literally,
Weah said too. Adam said as well.
I and the players are comfortable with Greg Berhalter. You should never be comfortable with your manager. Not like that. I mean, yes, you want to be comfortable as in, listen, I'm comfortable with what this guy's vision is, but you shouldn't feel comfortable that your position's a given.
That's it. That's MLS mentality right there.
And that's what it sounded like they were saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not the other part of it where I'm being challenged every day, and I like that. Like, that would have been something I wanted to hear. I'm being challenged every day, and I like it. No, they said, no, we're really comfortable with Greg. Okay, you're comfortable? I don't want comfortable. I really don't. Nope.
To specify what the MLS mentality I was referring to there is in the sense that if you're a good player in MLS, you don't really have competition in the sense that somebody's nipping at your heels, making you strive to be better. You're pretty confident that your role is guaranteed.
Yeah, right.
So, and that's all they were saying is that I feel pretty confident in Greg's, not even his system. We feel confident with Greg, meaning that they felt confident that their role is assured. That's
what it sounded like to me.
What it really sounded like, yeah.
And
then Greg gets fired, and all of a sudden everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we need somebody to challenge us. We need somebody to what was it that Adams said? We not rude by any means, but what was it?
I mean, he needed somebody who's going to tell us what to do, is what Adams said, and then
kick us in our rear type thing.
And we're going to do it, and he's going to kick us in our ass or something like that. And so, yeah, it's a total. So, listen, I can understand Jesse Marsh's mild bitterness because he was told he had the job verbally. And then the calls were made and the players came out and they said what they said. And then U.S. Soccer changed their mind and said, sorry, Jesse, we're rehiring Greg. And I remember having 29 on here basically telling us, listen, I've heard they verbally offered the job to Marsh. And we're like, really? And then it turned out to be true. Marsh had verbally been told, you're our top candidate now.
He turned down 2 opportunities in EPL for it. I mean, I'm putting words in his mouth right there, but the timeline lines up.
And the way they went about it, according to Marsh, was pretty dysfunctional, disrespectful, as he put it, and that he would never coach ever for the U.S. men's national team at this point unless those people were gone. That dysfunctionality was eradicated from U.S. soccer. Okay, fine. So I don't really hold him. I don't hold any grudge against him for saying what he's about to say we're about to play. I think that it's fine that he said it. I think it's okay. He's obviously upset with how it went. Mm-hmm. And he's mentioned this is not the third. It's like the 5th time he's brought up how it went. And he gets more specific here now about the players chiming in for Greg being to his detriment as he was being hired. So go ahead, Brett. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Jesse asked you a really long question. I'll make it shorter. Do you think our player pool for the U.S. needs to get tougher?
Look, I don't know. But here's the funny thing is that a lot of the players that were clamoring to get Greg back were also the ones that are now saying that it's time to move on.
First off, shocking. Yes. Immediately too.
What do you mean?
Huh? The people who are comfortable with having Greg back were the first people out of the gate to say we need somebody that's tougher.
Guess why? Guess why? Leadership Council.
Yeah.
Yeah, same people. So the press is still focused on what they consider to be the leaders of the team and the Leadership Council folks. And so we're getting the opposite reply we got earlier now when we're talking about Pochettino. Don't tell me that after that loss in the Copa America, all the players got together and said, yeah, it's time to move on. Greg's a horrible coach. He's not the right guy for us. There's no way they did that. There's no way they would know Greg would lose his job. They might have suspected it. But there's no way they knew for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden they're making all these very, out there comments that are the opposite expressions of the expressions they made before about being comfortable with Greg. So I get Jesse's frustration here. And yeah, like everybody else at this point, I am done giving the players excuses or any kind. And I don't think we ever did. We've been on people's balls when they deserve to have their balls be ridden on. All right. But at this point, now you get Pochettino, and then we see how U.S. Soccer treated Jesse Marsh and how the players basically almost revolted against the Jesse Marsh hiring. Yeah.
Well, done. Again, the whole revolt, I don't think it has anything really. I mean, there were a couple of players that have played under Jesse in that sense, but I would imagine all those players have good, an understanding of Jesse. I think the bulk of the players simply just went with, well, why would we go with strange when we are comfortable with normal?
So I would put it this way, Brett. When you're raising your kids, let's say you have 5 kids instead of 2, and you formed a leadership council of your kids, and they had some power over what you decided was going to happen during the day and how it was going to work. Yeah, you would. And I'm sorry, I'm not calling these players toddlers, but whenever you put the patients before the doctors, because that's what Greg was supposed to be there to do, to be the doctor of the club. And maybe I don't know, maybe they're nurses. I don't know how this metaphor works, but all I'm saying is they took over the asylum. is what happened. And they had so much power in who got picked for the coach. That can never happen again. And U.S. Soccer can never make that mistake again. The players should never pick the coach. That should be up to Matt Crocker and his assessments of what we need.
It's the equivalent of U.S. Soccer saying, here you go, I got a boiled chicken and broccoli for dinner, or you can have this bowl of ice cream.
Yeah.
And what are the kids going to pick?
Right.
I want the ice cream.
I want ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
Right? And we can't have that. We need none of that.
We need parents flat out saying, no, you're not going to have ice cream for dinner. What the hell is wrong with you?
Or lunch.
Eat your boiled chicken.
or dinner. Maybe after dinner, if you're good, that's a treat after dinner. That's a reward, maybe, for all the other things. Or maybe that's just the way life is going, right? So,
yeah.
Change is always a bit uneasy. That's the value in it. Yes, it is. But the players didn't want change, as you well know, Broken Furnace, which is basically your point. And that's why the players didn't want change. They wanted the same old guy. And that's why Jesse's bitter, because he was verbally offered the position. So we can play the rest.
Yep.
I don't know. You can't, for me, like this sport and this world that you play in has to be about constantly being challenged to be your best, period. Right? I don't care like who the coach is and
are you dying there?
Yeah, dude, I still have the same cold.
That's right. You have the cold. That's right.
Yeah, I'm not over it yet. Man, I've been sneezing all day.
Yeah.
Okay.
There shouldn't be a comfortability. There should always be a drive to be better. And yeah, it's fun to be on teams, right? You want the process of growth and improvement to be an enjoyable one, but it has to be about demands, right? And this life should never be about complacency, right? If you
No.
100%.
No, he's totally right. He's totally right. Listen, it might sound self-serving. I get it. People that say that, yes, of course it does. But I think he's just being pretty honest here. And he's being bitter. Yes, that's mixed in with it. But, this is a show. I think he's contractually has to be here once a month until that contract is over. So I think we're going to see him here once a month for the next coming months until the contract's over at the end of this year. So he's serving out that contract too.
I don't know. I feel like I'd want to be on here regardless, periodically, just to remain relevant within the sector of U.S. soccer in general, not necessarily USSF, but all of the fans and stuff like that. I would do it just to maintain some level of relevancy between them.
I like that LDK says at least March has a personality unlike Greg. Yes, for sure. There is no way Greg could do a show like this. No effing way.
I totally can do some bounce passes and check out my Starbucks mug. Pretty cool, isn't it?
Greg would be like Brian
What
McBride.
type of shoes am I wearing?
Even Brian McBride would be better than Greg on a show like this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
that's
Greg.
Tough. That's a tough, man, because they're both really dry personalities on camera.
I get it, but like maybe Greg will prove me wrong down the road when he takes a job like that. But we'll see.
Maybe he only had to stick up his ass while being a manager. But if he was just a pundit, maybe he could lighten up a little.
No, he's all into the philosophies of leadership and all that stuff. I think that he's lost his way. He's definitely deep in his own horse shit and deep in his own dogma. And that's the problem with Greg. I think Marsh has his own pseudo dogma, but I think he's more flexible. We've seen that with the Canadian national team so far. He has not stuck to his, ridiculous shit that he did 100% of the time it leads. He's shown some flexibility, which is good. He's also shown flexibility in putting in players that never had opportunities before and playing them. And then now they're superstars and have been signed by European teams. I think that Jesse's done well. And we'll see how well he does against us. And I think that, however, what he said about the American players probably might be some bulletin board material for the American players. Like he's calling us out for being pussies, for saying, oh, yeah, just give us Greg back because we're pussies, which is generally what he's saying. Generally.
This could be low key an American trying to drive the aggression back into American soccer, even though you're coaching the opposition.
He is half Canadian.
Sure, cool.
So
I'm just saying. Obviously, he's American. He has a strong connection with America. Maybe he's saying this stuff to try to.
I know you're joking, Brett, but I think that's just bitterness.
Or maybe he's looking at, hey, just the same way we're looking at all these upcoming friendlies, going, man, we can't get a decent friendly to really test us. So maybe he's looking, going, I really want the U.S. team coming out guns blazing to test my boys.
Man, you're going crazy out there with your theories.
I got to do something, Derek.
I know. It's like maybe he's just upset that Pornhub crashed right before this interview. I mean, you could come up with a lot of crazy theories.
Maybe what it is the whole Pochettino thing is a farce, and the announcement during the Canadian U.S. men's national team halftime show is that Marsh is leaving Canada and joining the U.S.
Okay. Now you've gone too far. You have gone too far.
Gone too far.
I think Marsh has made it pretty clear he has no intention of ever coaching for the U.S. men's national team as long as the Nimrods, as he put it a different way, are still running it. Let's just put it that way. All right, I think we're done with Jesse here. I think that's all he had to say.
Well, you got 50 seconds on there, or 40 seconds.
We still got to build a team, Brett.
We still got a couple other things to do too.
I know. So
all right, we move on. We understand what he's saying. Yeah, the players are a little soft, and they want comfortable and complacency and all that shenanigans. It's stuff all we've been saying.
And now I got to urinate.
That's cool.
All right, I'll be back.
All right. I will handle this super chat that came from King Kello for $1.99. He says, "Is it true that Wes and his dad are not closer, and why?" Well, we only know what Diego said in the past, and he said that they are not close at all. I mean, you can take a look at John's Twitter, and he's defending Wes and really supporting him there. But I don't know enough about their history to know to say much of anything. So from what Diego said, he was not really there as a father or whatever, something along those lines. I think, paraphrasing, because he said this well over like a year and a half ago. When Derek gets back here, we'll verify to see if he recalls anything else. But this all came up because Diego was in fact Mark was going to be the U.S. men's national team manager. Of course, that didn't happen. Greg came back, and everybody flamed Diego for being wrong. But then you had Ronaldo come up and say, well, no, this is what happened. And then you had Jesse come up and this is what happened. But yeah, Diego was right. Just it didn't work out. And that's the problem with these having sources who say stuff to you is it might be accurate at the time, but things change.
So you're talking about Wes?
Wes in this sense. Well, in this situation, it's Wes and his dad and what Diego said like a year and a half or so ago about it.
Yeah, about how he's closer to his mom.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know enough about it to say what I feel comfortable saying. So
yeah, I don't either. I mean, I can only tell you that his dad loves Wes. There's no doubt about that. And would I say Wes's mom is closer? Probably. Is Wes's dad more vocal? Yes. I don't want to speak for Wes about how he feels about that. I know 29 came on and said it, but I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah. So
I
don't know. When a split in the family happens, people can change over time, of course.
Sure.
While together, you may, one parent might have been really harsh and, real strict and, done some, not saying this is what John did by any means. I'm not saying that. I'm just making generalizations here, guys. And then time change when you get a little older, especially when grandchildren come and everything like that. a lot of people change how they act around everything else. So
Go
it's
ahead.
very possible. It's very possible something along those lines might have happened, but I don't know, and I don't want to speculate.
Scroll back up.
To what?
John says something about Richards that's not true. I think Oppenheim said Richards is a choir guy. Actually, Richards is sort of the gleeful party guy.
Goofball, yeah, he's one of the goofballs.
Yeah, no, he's a party guy. So you might have misheard that one, John. He is one of the more, as Brett put it, goofball. He goes at night.
Maloney looks like a buff Macklemore.
That is true. That is true. That is true, John. All right. Where the fuck were we? Yeah. So yeah, we're not going to get into the parent struggle thing. Not going to happen here.
Nope. I haven't talked. My interactions with John have been very limited. And I have not talked to Wes's mom by any means, even though I know Diego said that he could hook us up with that, but I'm like, what are we going to talk to her about?
Yeah, I know. He's like, have her on your show here. He like, man, I'm like, no, dude, I don't. We have had opportunities to interview players here where we're like, no thanks. Why? It's not going to be comfortable for them. They're not going to speak their mind. We're not going to get to ask them questions that might disrupt them. That's not fair to them. They're really under a code of what they can say and they can't. I'd much rather have Alexi Lawless on here and hammer him a couple times on his points of views than have a player on here. I feel bad if I put them on the spot. I don't want to do that to them.
Yep.
And so we've decided, Brett and I, that we're not going to have players on the show.
For the most part, yeah. Maybe retired at that point. Yeah, sure.
Retired players we have on the show all the time, but not players that are still playing.
What about having Wes's mom on for Two Fat Foodies to talk about cooking recipes?
Who?
Wes's mom.
Oh, Wes's mom?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I know we've been told she's a good cooker, but
we know they don't cook turkeys. Apparently,
they are bad at cooking turkeys. So I don't know.
We could give some help on the turkeys, and they can give us some hints on help on other things.
Somebody said, "Bring on Jermaine Jones." Daniel, keep in mind,
he's deep. He's deep.
Jermaine Jones has changed dramatically in the last 6 years. We've talked to Pete and talked about this too, and it's obvious in his interviews about U.S. soccer. Just go watch the CBS. What was that? What's the show with all the guys and the gal?
Milazzo?
No, the big one. That Bruce Arena was on, that Jesse Marsh was on, that show. Kicking it, yeah. Like, listen, Jermaine Jones went on that show. He didn't have any criticism, okay? So, listen.
USSF is the best.
Once USSF has told you have a chance to be an assistant coach for the U.S. soccer or whatever going down the field, or a youth coach, or man, you shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. So, didn't Jermaine Jones try to kill his ex-wife's lover? I have no clue. I have no idea. Daniel, don't know. Will Jesse Marsh ever recover from seeing an incompetent coach like Berhalter getting hired over him? U.S. soccer hurt Marsh's ego so badly. I don't think it hurt his ego. That he takes a shot. Hurt his feelings for sure. That he takes a shot on them, Greg, and the players whenever he can. I think that what you're hearing, Tact, is just really like the outer core. I think if he wanted to, he could say a lot more. He's just not going to. He's giving you like basic niblets. He's not giving you the whole sandwich.
I think he wants to express his hurt feeling,
disappointment,
but he doesn't necessarily want to burn bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey,
no, he's burned bridges. He burned bridges, Brett, with the current administration.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying he's like, well, you said this about us. I'm like, well, you guys hurt my feeling, and I was lashing out a little bit, but I didn't say all the stuff I could have said.
I don't think Jesse sees himself being the coach of the U.S. men's national team for anywhere more than a decade plus more. And so for him, he's hoping the current administration is gone 10 years from now. And I think he's hoping the players are different, which they will be.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's still so young. He can say these things and get away with it because he knows 10, 15 years down the road, he's still going to be like 60 years old. So he'll be good. He'll be good to go. So he speaks more freely than others. And that's good. I'm glad to hear it from him, honestly. But we'll see what he does with Canada. Should be interesting. Oh, we got our Paul Tenario. Here we go. Saying
you gonna talk about Trundle again?
No. He's done with Trundle pushing.
It's a shame.
Paul, even though it's not
along with
official yet, hasn't been signed, do you think Poch had some sort of influence on this roster that's playing in these friendlies?
No.
I don't think so. Everything I've been told is that Mikey Varas and his staff were in charge of this roster, that they were the ones that were kind of going through the process. They had conversations with the players. They picked the team ultimately. So,
I mean, aside from coaching, is there really any big surprises on the team?
No.
I mean, yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those things like if there's like, you know, like a bunch of youth players that are still working their way up into the get brought in, that'd be one thing. But this is, I mean, for the most part, I mean, there are a couple of players in there, I guess. Fossey, Wiley.
The Fossey one was interesting, and we'll get into that.
Coaching. I think that's literally about it right there.
Yeah. Broken Furnace says, who is this guy? It's Paul Tenario. He's one of the guys that's very close to U.S. Soccer.
He writes for The Athletic.
He writes for The Athletic, but he also works part-time for CBS. And he's on there very often. And he's often very wrong about what he pushes. He was pushing for Trundle, as was Doug McIntyre early on, both of them. No, I don't know why. I have no fucking clue why. Doesn't make any sense to anybody. But that's what they were doing, both of them. And I don't really think that's their job as reporters to push their own fucking agendas. Like, that's weird. Like, why are you out there pushing for Dolo? Both of you. It's just repulsive, really. I mean, if that's your personal opinion, then say my personal opinion is, but neither of them said that. And thus, it made a lot of people think, oh, shit, we're getting Dolo. Because they both said it days apart from each other. And less than a couple days, I believe, apart from each other. And on different interviews. And they didn't say, well, my personal opinion is I would really like to see Steve Trundle considered. No, they said, here's a guy I think would really, you know, they're probably considering. Steve Trundle. That's what they both said. You can't say that when you're a guy that tightly connected to U.S. Soccer that people are relying on to have real info from the inside of U.S. Soccer, which they usually do. Both of them do. Of course, both of them don't now. For whatever reason, U.S. Soccer shut them out completely. So they have no idea what's going on. They're saying, oh, it'll be signed by Wednesday. Oh, I mean Thursday. Oh, well, no, still not signed. So it's going to be Saturday or whatever. One of the friendly games, halftime, is what we were telling you guys. It'll be an announcement. It'll be a build-up at the beginning of the game. We have a big announcement at halftime, so stay tuned to this meaningless friendly game versus Canada. Right. That's what they're going to do to you. And then they're going to announce Poch, and then they're going to play some interview with him somewhere in France that he did, and that's what you're going to get.
So, did you ever watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah, barely,
So
but yeah.
There was a scene in the second season, roughly, where Tyrion is playing the Hand of the King, and he brings in Varys, he brings in Littlefingers, and he brings in the Maester dude, and he tells them each that he's gonna, marry his niece to various people to find out who's leaking news to his sister. So do you think Doug and Paul were leaked incorrect information to find out who the leakers were within U.S. Soccer?
Listen, I wouldn't put it.
We only told you that we're gonna talk to Trundelos. You're out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I do know that once Greg was fired, they shut down shop.
Yeah.
Because none of us were getting the normal leakers we used to get. So that happens. And they're not getting them either. And a lot of them feel more comfortable telling us than them, to be frank. So I don't know. We'll see what happens here from out, but he's basically saying, no, Pochettino had no play in picking this team.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess it's believable to me.
Yeah.
I don't, that's a lot of research for him to do in a month. And he probably would have just told Mikey Varas anyhow, just do what you do and I'll watch and evaluate.
Well, and I had mentioned earlier, even if they were to announce Poach and he was going to be managing this window, he probably would have just called up, for the most part, the Copa roster. And for the most part, minus a couple of players, and especially with injuries, that's exactly what happened. Yep. You have a Copa roster with a couple of extra players. Hey, and Poach could have simply said, like you said, hey, Mikey, I'm not overly familiar after so many injuries. I'm not overly familiar with the player pool that great in depth yet. So if you could suggest a couple players, and he's like, maybe we get this kid from Barcelona B team in here if we can, drop your name,
Bossy, that was out of the box.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where, like, I could believe both in this situation. So
yeah.
He has no say. It was all Mikey, but it could have been Poach simply saying, hey, I'm going to call this roster in. I know all these people are injured. Can you fill in the blanks?
Even if Poch got to pick this roster, he's going to pick the standards first.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I mean, he's going to start, not going to just totally fuck around the first time through and go, yeah, well, fuck half these guys. I'm going to pick a whole group of half of another guys. No, that's not going to happen. He'll probably throw in a few guys, and that's what happened. We got coaching, we got Fossey. Those were two.
Wiley.
Yeah, well, Wiley's been doing fine at Strasbourg, so okay, not shocked because obviously at left back and right back we're a little bit thin because Robinson's not going to be there. There's no Dest, so now you're just trying to test some guys out wide.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens here, but we better pick a team. Let's pick a team. Or we got more?
No, that's all that you wanted from this guy. Frank, I'm guessing it's Frank Castler, but it's Frank Bolt on the twits.
Right.
He had posted a lineup. I wanted to bring that up and go over that real quick.
Okay.
So guaranteed we'd get this 11 in one game. When you're looking at this roster, this lineup, I want you to think of a name for this lineup. Okay.
All right. This is versus Canada.
He does in one game. Doesn't have. It could be New Zealand.
Okay, could be New Zealand. Probably more likely New Zealand if Sargent's starting up top.
So, it's Sargent. Pulisic, Reina, Aronson.
No Reina. He's gone.
Well, this is beforehand.
That'd be Tillman instead.
So, well, that doesn't fit the narrative though, Derek. So keep that in mind.
What narrative?
You'll understand. And you have Morrison Johnny.
It's a 4-5-1. No, it's a 4-2-3-1.
Lundgren, Richards, and Scally, and then Schulte. And this team is named Avocado Toast.
Okay.
It's a bunch of white boys, Derek.
Richards.
And then Richards.
Richards, Reyna's Latino.
Fair, but he's not there now.
Tillman will be African American.
Yes, if he's included in that. But that's not the point of the narrative, though, Derek.
Johnny Cardoso is from Brazil.
It's not okay. It's not purely just white. Okay.
All right. This whole white thing
This is along the lines of Johnny of Larry talk.
I'm not saying I don't see color. I do, because I see it every day, and I respect it, and I understand, and I try to, be empathetic to people's backgrounds. But like, to just build rosters based on color, I just can't. I can't do it. Because I don't think that way. I'm just thinking about individual players.
But again, this is meant as a joke, Derek, not meant to be serious.
Well, I'm taking it serious.
I understand that, but the whole name being Team Avocado Toast, that was hysterical. So I feel like almost everybody in this lineup sits down to eat avocado toast.
I would put Pulisic on the right and put Haji on.
Don't talk about an actual lineup right now.
I put Haji on the left. All right. Anyhow.
Cool beans.
It's not bad lineup, though.
So we kind of hinted at this. Gio's out. Cade Cowell's, and we didn't mention Cade Cowell coming in, though. Which I thought was interesting, because does that mean that Gio was considered wide fodder?
No, not really. I don't think so.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Cade Cowell's earned a call up at this point. He's at a pretty solid month and some change.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Why not give him a call up at this point?
And
I even talked about it last show too. We are awfully thin when it comes to wing options.
Yeah,
in this roster. So maybe they do listen to our show. Maybe they actually take us into consideration what we think, Derek.
No, they don't. No, they don't. But we're getting so good at it that our lineups are pretty close to theirs anyhow, because most of this picks itself, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, this is going to be interesting because I can't see shit on here. My screen's all fucked.
First of all, Brett, we got to decide whether Mikey Varas is going to play a 4-2-3-1, which is more likely to be Pochettino's lineup, or a 4-3-3, which is a Berhalter thing, and Varas is a Berhalter guy. He basically sucks Berhalter's dick every weekend.
So I'm going. My take is the 4-2-3-1.
That's what I'd like to see. And I think if you're expecting Pochettino to come in, you think Varas would be respectful of that and not Berhalter. Berhalter's gone. So be respectful of what you think Pochettino would do and play a 4-2-3-1. That's what I would say too. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The defense, obviously, we go back to the goalkeeper if you want to. I really don't fucking care, but it's probably going to be Turner.
It's Turner. Start off with against Canada, it's Turner. Guaranteed.
It's going to be Turner, people. This is not about Disneyland. We're giving you what we actually think they're going to pick. Not what we would want, but what they're going to do.
Well, and Mikey doesn't want a loss. And I'm not saying that putting Schulte or even giving Coach in the start I don't think that's going to happen regardless. I don't think Coach is going to play this window. I think he's going to get a look, unless he just flat out presses the new goalkeeper coach. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, they're just like saying, here are the panties, sniff them. Here are the panties, sniff the panties. That's all they're doing right here. That's it. No more.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Schulte is going to get the call, and it's going to be Horvath or Turner. I think Turner's going to get the start simply because he's the number one at this point, unfortunately.
Yeah.
With his current formation, yes. I agree with Lund, by the way.
And I think you'll see in the second game, you'll probably see Wiley. But for this game, it'll be Lund. He has more experience with this team.
But do
Richard,
you think that they would just make the subs and Wiley would just get the sub time only?
Yep.
Or do you think he's going to get a start?
I think he'll get a start in the New Zealand game.
Okay.
I think they're going to split it. This will be, Ream for this Canadian game and Richards.
Yeah.
And
I think he got to at that point.
At right, it'll be Scally.
Yep.
And then you're holding mids. This is going to be tougher, but Cardoso.
I know. Yeah. Tack initially in the thing said that Musa was not going to be playing the Canada match, but then he
fine.
He claimed back and said, Musa will be available for the Canada match.
Yes, so Musa.
I think it's going to be Musa, yeah.
And then we move to the 10, and that's going to be Tillman. And here's where it gets tricky. If you really think Aronson's going to start, then he would sort of out wide right. But I'd much rather, I think they're right about saying that, though, Brett. I think it's going to be Pulisic out left and Aronson out right. I don't think that Haji's going to be given a chance to start. I think he'll come on.
I'm with you on that.
I think he'll come on and play, but I just don't see him starting. Dark Brendan, please give us Dark Brendan. Then up top, it's going to be Balogun. And that's just reality, people. We're just giving you reality. Like if you want Disneyland and you want what we would do, might be different.
I could see a match where Varas could play Haji at left and Pulisic out right. I could see it, but I think that this is the better odds. If I had to place money on it, I think Dark Brendan's playing simply because he's been around the team longer, has more experience with the team.
Yeah, no, I would agree for everybody out there saying Haji over Aronson. That's what I would do. And I push Pulisic to the right and play Haji out left. But I don't think it's going to happen based on what's happened already. And Haji having to play off the bench. So I think this is realistic. I think what we're giving you here is realism. If you don't like it, I don't like it either. I don't like all of it. But I think this is realistic. And I think this is what you're going to see on Saturday. And that's our job here, not to give you Disneyland shit. And we don't do that here on the show. Like, oh, here's my jack off Disneyland list. All right, well, we can't do that. We're going to play a 3-5-2. As we see fuckers do all the time on all the other channels, like
Jimmy's show, they do it. Call it what you want.
Bolton guy.
The Golazo do it.
Stu Holden.
Like Bolton, what the fuck's Bolton gonna do? So then I realized what you're talking about.
Stu Holden. Yeah, people come out with the craziest, like, here's what they don't even say, here's what I do. Sometimes they're just like, here's the lineup for the next game. So,
given the lineup, what do you think the final score will be?
I think we'll win. I think it'll be like 2-0, 1-0, something like that.
All right, that was funny, Colin. I like that.
Chris Roulon and
Malik Tillman definitely have naked pictures of somebody.
I don't know. Malik Tillman looked really good against a very shitty team in the Dutch league.
To Colin's point, so I think Tillman has been rather meh with his.
Yes,
I think
he has
one game against Jamaica. I think he kind of got a bad rap for that game. I don't think he was actually as bad as we thought because I think the whole game itself was bad. And we lumped on him because he was kind of like the pivotal player, but he wasn't being very pivotal. But
here's the.
I think he's been very meh for the U.S. Yes.
Here's the challenge for Tillman. When you play against Feyenoord and Ajax and the top teams this year in Holland, you got to look as good as you do.
Don't shrink back.
Don't shrink. Don't look. You got to look just as good as you did against Go-Ahead Eagles, is what I'm saying. It's really easy to look good against Go-Ahead Eagles, okay? Not so easy to look good against Feyenoord, Ajax, And even, in some cases, teams like Utrecht might be tougher to look good. But there's some really shitty teams in Holland. You're going to look great. You're going to look great. So what Tillman's challenge is to get on that field now as Reyna's replacement in a, we hope, 4-2-3-1. But honestly, Brett, I don't think it's going to be that. I think Mikey Varis is going to play 4-3-3.
Oh, how am I going to do this? Hold on, I gotta think it's I think it's going to be a 4-2-3-1. But
I don't. I think Mikey Varis is going to play 4-3-3, and that means Tillman. Just pull Tillman out of the 10 and put him at the left of Cardoso. Oh,
sorry. I think you needed to see that to talk about that.
You just take Tillman, you pull him to the left. Nope, you pull Tillman to the left, make him the left midfielder. You keep Cardoso in the middle. You put Musa out right. There you go. And you've got a 4-3-3. Although Tillman and Musa will play wider than that.
I think if it's a Berhalter 4-3-3, I think this middle trio will basically be fluidly kind of moving and attacking and pressing. I think Cardoso will have more of a defensive role, but there'll be times where Musa will be on the left, Tillman on the right, etc.
And you could see Cardoso and Musa take turns going back and getting the ball, right?
Yeah, we could see something like this.
Well, no, not versus Canada. Not versus Canada. We won't.
And Ream's gonna have to jump up and go, "Hey guys, I'm gonna come up here and kick the ball."
Well, he will.
Loon's gonna be over here,
but he won't have Anthony Robinson out left to rely on anymore. But yeah, if we play a 4-3-1, I would imagine it's Cardoso in the center, Musa on the right, Tillman on the left, and then the front three being Pulisic, Dark Brendan, and Balogun. And then at halftime, like 65 minutes in, we could see some replacement players. We could see Sarge. We could see Haji Wright come in for Aronson, 65th, between 65th, 75th minute. But that's just being realistic, people. That's all I'm saying.
So
you could also see the last 20 minutes going to Wiley.
I have no idea where in the chat this started. This whole topic of Aztecs and Incans and stuff like that popped in. But Fumar says Aztecs didn't force assimilation. And I went to respond to him in the chat, and I got flagged for spam. I got flagged.
The host of the show?
Yeah, so I wrote this. I said, Fumar, yeah, they just cut the hearts and decapitated people instead. Who cares about assimilation when you have no heart and no head? But then it says YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. I think cutting out the hearts and decapitating people probably triggered YouTube.
I definitely think so. The decapitating part, especially. And that didn't happen all through their history, by the way.
Just when they had droughts, I understand.
No, I mean, near the end. Near the end. Anyhow, it is what it is. Yeah, watch Apocalypto, says Kevin Brenner, which is a fantastic movie, by the way.
I thoroughly enjoyed Apocalypto.
I really enjoyed that movie. I don't even care if it's accurate. It's fucking fabulous. What a movie.
Well, how accurate does it really have to be? I mean, we know that obviously tribes pillaged other tribes. They took people as slaves. We know the Aztecs did, in fact, to appease the gods, to try to encourage rain, did cut out hearts of the men and decapitated and stuff. Outside of that, the entire movie is basically just two tribes of people running.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't have to be accurate. There's legitimately no. I mean, there may have been some characters that were historically accurate in the sense that you see them and you're like, oh, that must have been so and so or whatever. But
by the way, Greg Turdhaller says, can you go up and get that one?
Greg, oh, there you go. Oh, Greg, I think you say Craig.
Hachi over Aronson every day. Listen, we're not disagreeing with that. We're just giving you reality. And I don't think Haji's starting on the left and Pulisic on the right. I just don't think that's what that Mikey Varas is going to do. If I thought he was going to do that, I would say that. But I don't think he's going to do it. We may absolutely agree with you over Haji over Aronson. And I think if I put this lineup up, that's probably I'd put a Haji out left and Pulisic out right. But that's not what we're going to give you because that's just my personal ball tingling feeling. And I can't go by ball tingling feelings. I got to go by reality. I can't give you guys Disneyland bullshit so you'll be shocked that day when the starting lineup comes out. You're like, oh my God, Derek said Haji was going to start. No, I'm not going to lie to you. Just not going to. Derek, did they fight Napoleon? No, they did not. Those are different eras. For Christ's sake.
So what you're saying is you have no idea if Napoleon could have been the Aztecs.
No, he would have slaughtered them. But BMR, you know that. He's just playing around.
Of course.
God Kong Snake is saying I need to trust my balls. But my balls are my balls telling me what I want to do. Not telling me I am trusting my balls when I trust my balls to tell me what's going to happen when Mikey Varas is picking the team. So if your ball is tingling, you should have it checked out. No, not all tingling.
I'm sure there's a cream for that.
Not all tingling's bad.
Sometimes you can get a cream to make it tingle.
I think what he's really understanding, or what people are misunderstanding about the ball sack feeling is that, and the tingling, is that you can have a tingling for both reality and your own personal preference. And you can have tinglings for both. Like I get a tingling when I'm like, I know I'm going to get this lineup right. That gives me a tingle because I know this fucking Greg Berhalter dude, and I know what he's going to do. And in this case, what I think Mikey Varas is going to do. And I also get a ball tingling, think about what I would do. A twinkle in my eye thinking, here's what I would do, and here's how I would set up. So they're not mutually exclusive things, is what I'm saying. Aztecs live on in the Mexican accent. There are a lot of what you would call native, although they're not really native because they all cross the bridge, right? They all cross the bridge from Alaska, right? Native Americans as well from Asia to come here and settle the Americas over the bridge between the Soviet Union now and what is Alaska today. There was a land bridge there. And so they settled these people. They weren't native to it. I don't know if there were anybody native before them. I don't think there's any historical proof of that. So they settled it. I guess that makes them native. But I think as George Carlin once puts it, no one's native. If you want native, the natives, the only natives, are the people in lower South Africa who were the first human beings. And then they spread all over the world. Like, that's native. That particular lake they all evoluted around makes them very native to that lake. Other than that, in that area, the first human beings then spattered all over the fucking planet. So who's native to what? I don't know. That's what George Carlin said. You can disagree with him. I'm just saying what he said. And you can disagree with it if you want. I'm sure a lot of native English people would say, hey, Normans, Anglo-Saxons, we're natives here. So to England and to the UK. Anyhow, interesting.
I think when we're talking about thousands upon thousands of years, I think at some point you can start stating that they're native to a certain location.
Yeah, no. I wasn't saying it was, I'm just quoting what he said.
Sure.
And I don't necessarily agree with it, all of it, 100%. But I think he's making a point. Like, we're all one people. In the end, we're all one people, but not in a I don't want to get into this freaking corporatist globalist bullshit, we're all one people thing, because that's not true. We all have different cultures. We all have different traditions. And those things should be respected too. That's all I'm saying as well. Anyhow, those things are important. We all should be respected for our upbringing and our culture that we bring and our food, our great food for many of the cultures.
I appropriate the shit out of all food. So
not England, but German food, and there's so much great food out there. Latino food, Hispanic food from Hispania, and so much good food should be respected and be spread all over the world because it's so goddamn good. But anyhow, we'll get into that some other time. No, we won't, because this is not a political show or necessarily a cultural show. This show is about, at best, soccer culturalism at best. So I think we're done for tonight, Brett.
That's all I got.
All right. For the 350 of you who were here tonight, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. We'll be back on Monday after the game. Tack will be doing a live.
Are we doing a live on live play on Saturday? It's at 4:00, right?
We could.
Yeah. I'll have to check my schedule. I know Jackson's got a game on Saturday. It's at 10:00. But I'm not sure when Chuckles is.
Well, we'll let you know soon if we're going to do a live here. I know Tack's going to do one.
And if you guys really want to stay up to date with all of our stuff, make sure you go down below and hit that little bell for notifications. For sure. Well done, Brett. Hey, look at me go. I know. All right. We will see you soon. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the, let's hope, a good lineup and setup and a good game versus Canada and Jesse Marsh. We'll see how that works out. Until then, we love you. Good night.
That hurt.
And to me, it's nauseating. It's absolutely nauseating because
Multiple mental health clinicians said that Derek had limited intellectual ability and was not capable of consenting.